What's up, guys? Once again, welcome back to my channel. And it's been a while since I posted anything. And yeah, there's something I was waiting to post. If you watched my last YouTube channel, I talked about my first experience boarding an aircraft. Yeah, and I thought maybe I could make YouTube videos about aircraft and just filling you in on how aircrafts operate and probably just what you need to know when you're boarding a plane. Other than just going to the terminal, checking your bags, get into the jet bridge, and just board the aircraft. There are things that happen. Most people just get on the plane and get to sleep. Others watch movies the entire time, which is also a good thing. But there are things that may interest you how the how the aeroplane operates, and yeah. And I thought, yeah, it's a good if I let you know what really happens behind the scenes. So guess what? Yeah, I obtained an Emirates model plane. This is the model of a Boeing 777-300. Yeah, and pretty decent. Yep. Yeah, so today I want to talk about the forces that enable the plane to move through the sky. We have four major forces. We have the force created the thrust. This is the forward force that enables the plane to move forward, and thrust is generated by the engines. We have the upward force, that is lift, that is generated by the wings of the plane. And then we have backward force, that is also called drag. That's the force trying to pull the plane backwards. And of course you have the downward force generated by the weight of the plane. So that's the force pulling the weight down, basically just gravity. So we have thrust, we have weight, lift, and drag. Yeah, so if we talk about thrust is usually generated by the engines. And the way the engine works is it compresses air. Basically, there's a compressors in the engine that and turbines, the turbo turbines that really rotate so fast, and it creates a pressure difference on the air just in front of the engine, and that tends to create a sucking effect. So that's why you'd hear that you're not supposed to stand in front of the engine of the plane, the plane's engine, seeing that the compressors really rotate so fast and you could get sucked in. Now, actually the business end of the thrust is actually the trailing end of the engines. So what happens, it's air is really expelled with so much force behind the engines, and that creates that forward movement. And that also enables the plane to make that momentum into the sky and get airborne. The next force is lift, of course, generated by the wings. And the wings have four parts. We just have the front area of the wing, we have the slats. These are usually just curved forward. This enables the plane to go smoothly through the air. Behind the wings, we have the flaps. The flaps usually just they're meant to generate larger surface around the wings. Usually they can extend outwards and retract inside. So when the aeroplane is about to take off, you need that large surface area, and that is generated by the flaps. So the flaps usually extend really wide and gives the wing large surface area. And then you have the spoilers. Spoilers are usually located at the top side of the trailing edge of the wing. So these usually create drag when they are deployed. I'll come to that and probably show you a video how the spoilers work. And then you have the ailerons. The ailerons enable the plane to rotate that way, just able to bank to the left and to the right. So these are basically the four parts of the wing. And then we have the drag. Drag usually is that's the force, the backward force, the backward pull. The plane, as it goes through the air, it creates there's a lot of drag that's created. So basically this is a force that tries to have the plane go backward, so it has to cut through the air. So basically just a backward force. And then of course we have the weight generated by gravity. So that kind of enables the plane to go down. So we have the thrust, we have the weight, we have the lift, and we have the drag, the main four forces of the enabling the plane to fly. Now, if I talk about how the wings work, we have on this wing, we have the spoilers, we have the ailerons, and we have the flaps. And then again, we have this section here. This is the rear wing of the plane. These are called the elevators. Elevators or horizontal, there's horizontal stabilizers and then there's elevators. So basically this is called the horizontal stabilizer. This tail end of this look like mini wings. This is the horizontal stabilizers. What horizontal stabilizers do, they enable the plane to go pitch downward and pitch forward. And just at the trailing edge of the end of the horizontal stabilizers, we have the elevators. You see now, we can see the markings there. What these do, the elevators enable the plane to elevate into the sky, basically just to rotate. When a plane is on the runway and you feel that force just as you're taking off, there's that force that pushes you into the seat. Just as the plane goes up, what normally happens is the rear, the horizontal stabilizers, the rear end, the trailing end of the horizontal stabilizers have, I could say flaps, let's call them elevators. So what normally happens is that they are kind of raised. So when it raises, it creates a downforce on the tail end of the plane. So the plane is forced to pitch up. And when that happens, it lifts off from the ground. So what is responsible for your plane, for the plane, you know, pitching up and getting airborne is called the elevators. Usually when a plane goes into when it kind of makes that turn, it's called rotate. I don't know why they call it rotate, but when a plane just takes off, when you see the nose going up, that's now a plane rotating. Yeah, so usually it rotates at a certain speed, and that speed is called the V1. I'll explain that. It can't rotate until it gets to a certain speed. Yeah, so V1 is the speed that the plane needs to attain for it to, you know, get airborne. Yeah, so basically those are the four forces that affect of how a plane flies, or you know, flies through the air. And one thing again I needed to explain is usually when the plane is now airborne, what happens is now the force, the drag force is usually less than the force of thrust. So that's why it's able to go through the air. And of course, the weight is usually less than the lift. So that enables the plane to, you know, stay level in the air. Just as the plane, you know, descends down, the weight now the force of the weight becomes greater than the lift. So that enables the plane to descend down. So basically that is what happens when these planes fly. So next time when you're boarding a plane and you're wondering how did it get off the runway and into the sky, that is usually what happens. And the major part that the one that plays the major role is the engines. These are usually the engines of the plane. So when you see these two things just below, underneath the wings, that is the engine of the plane. Some planes have 8 engines, some have 4 engines, some have 3 engines, and yeah. How do you know that a plane has like now the 3-engine plane? The really old plane, the DC planes had engines mounted on the vertical stabilizer. Oh yeah, and once again, this is the vertical stabilizer. I didn't mention this. This also helps the plane fly. This is called the vertical stabilizers. And just behind the vertical stabilizers, we have the rudder. There's this section here. So what the rudder does, it kind of moves left to right. This is responsible for the plane, making a left turn and a right turn. Now, when a plane makes a left turn, say this plane wants to make a left turn, and the rudder will probably now tilt to the left. When it tilts to the left, it makes that turn. So the plane will always want to go, make that left turn. But see, planes don't turn like that. They don't turn like cars. The plane will have to bank first and then make a turn. So what is responsible for the plane banking are the ailerons. When this aileron, the ailerons actually are really at the side, the farthest end of the wing, on either side of the wing. The ones responsible for making the plane, kind of turn on its axis. So when the plane makes that turn, what happens is this aileron is kind of elevated. It kind of just makes that elevation, and the right aileron is kind of deflected down. So it kind of messes the aerodynamics of the plane. So it makes that turn. And when that happens, now the rudder, which also turns to the left, now enables the plane to, make that left turn. So the ailerons usually turn opposite to another. When this goes up, this goes down, it makes that left bank. When this goes up and this one goes down, it makes that right bank. And for that to happen, for it to make a turn, it will work in conjunction with the rudders at the tail end of the plane. That will enable the plane to, make that roll to the left and a roll to the right. Yeah, so basically pretty much that's how the plane is. Now, as on the engines are usually mounted on underneath the wings. Like I said, there are planes with 4 engines, there are planes with 8 engines. Like now, the Airbus A380, the Boeing 747, they have 2 engines mounted on each wing. And usually the engines are named from the left to the right. So just like you'd write your notes on your book, you move from left to right. Even the captain of the plane sits on the left side of the plane. So the engines on the left side of the wings are the first engines. If there are 2, that's engine 1 and 2. The engines on the right side of the plane are usually the last engine. So if there are 2 engines on the right side of the plane, that's engine 3 and 4. So in this case, we have only 2 engines on this plane. So this plane has engine 1 and then engine 2. So the first engine is always on the left side. If it's a 2-jet engine plane, then the first engine is on the left side, the second engine is on the right side of the wing. If there are 8 engines, there'll probably be 4 engines here and 4 engines here, on the right side. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4. If there's a plane with 3 engines, they're usually the third engine, that is the old planes. They're usually mounted on the vertical stabilizer of the plane. So that's engine 1, engine 2, and then engine 3 being the last one. Yeah, so that's pretty much how the plane is. And as you can see, this is a model of a cargo plane. How do you know it's a cargo plane? It's written Sky Cargo, as you can see that. And then one thing again, cargo planes don't have windows lined up along the fuselage. This metal tube, yeah, so it's called the fuselage. Yeah, so usually there are windows. You could see windows, on either side of the plane. So this cargo plane, and yep, passenger planes would have windows, but cargo planes don't have windows. So it's basically just the windows where the pilots can see through. Yeah, so let's have a look at this video and see how the ailerons work, the spoilers. The spoilers are usually meant to create drag when the plane lands. So what happens is they're deployed. When they're deployed, they kind of just raise up on the wing. Spoilers are basically, like, on your car, there are sports cars with these huge things on the wood. Yeah, kind of makes it look fancy. That usually is supposed to create a downforce. So it's angled in such a way that when the car, moves this way, so it's angled in that way, and that creates a downforce rather. The spoilers of the plane are supposed to create drag and decrease the stopping distance. So when a plane lands, the spoilers are deployed, and that helps in the breaking down of the speed of the plane. Usually the plane has three mechanisms of breaking down. We have the spoilers, we have the engine, where instead of where they deploy the reverse thrusters. That means instead of air being expelled at the rear end of the engine, it's now expelled on the sides of the engine. I'll explain that again. And then we also have the brakes, that is the normal brakes like the car brakes. So it has three stopping mechanisms. We have the spoilers, we have the reverse thrusters, and of course we have the normal brakes. I mean, these things are so heavy, like when they land, all that weight really needs redundancy in stopping. So that's where there are those mechanisms and redundant ways to stop the plane. So I have a video here. I just like to show you how the plane stops. So this here is a video of an Emirates A350 Airbus. This is my favorite plane. This is the plane that I really love the most. So check this out. Yeah, you can see the landing gear on this is the nose gear on the plane. It's nose gear because it's called the nose gear because it's basically underneath the nose of the plane. Yeah, and you can see it's the doors have written XG. XG usually the true registration number of the plane is usually indicated on the doors of the nose gear. So XG meaning X-ray Golf. I'll also come and explain to you how aviation words are used. They don't use the ABC, the A for apple, B for boy, C for cat. They usually have really strange names. I don't know why, but I'll come and explain that. So there's Alpha, Bravo, Charlie, Delta, Echo, all the way to Z. So this is XG. This simply means X-ray Golf. So the doors of the nose of the landing, the doors, the initials written on the nose landing gears usually indicates the last two registration numbers of the plane. So that's an Airbus A350 landing. Yeah, now check that. See, I talked about the reverse thruster. You see now this section of the engine. What happens? It opens up, and the air is not expelled from the backside of the engine. It's now expelled on the sideways with a forward motion. Basically, so it's the air coming in and going back, coming in and expelled back to the front. So that creates a stopping force. The wings, you see the wings here, this raised here, these are the spoilers, ground spoilers. What that happens is that when they're deployed up, it creates drag on the plane. So the aerodynamic features of the plane is kind of compromised, and that will enable the plane to stop. And yeah, look at that. Just at the trailing end of the wings, we have those are the flaps. They're really extended. So when the flaps are extended, it also creates a stopping distance and kind of creates also a large surface area on the wing. So what usually happens, it slides out of the wing, kind of just slides out and creates a curve on the wing. So that gives the plane, also creates drag, and there's a lot of stopping force that affects the plane. Yeah, and of course brakes are also applied, but this looks fairly good. Doesn't look I don't know if they really applied the brakes here, but yeah, I'm sure there's some level of braking that's applied to the wheels. Yeah, so basically that's how the wing works. When Let me show you how a wing looks like just when you take off. This wing is really busy. You see all the things extended out of the wing. You don't know this is the wing that you saw when you're taking off. So let's check how a plane looks like when it's just about to take off. So this here shows how the wing looks like. It's really flat, not as it looked on the video I've shown you just a little while ago. Yeah, so as you can see, this section here, these are the flaps. Yeah, at the far end, these are the ailerons. They are responsible for the right and left bank. Then we have the winglet, of course, at the really extreme end of the wings. The winglet, this doesn't have, but kind of just lifts up. What that does, it minimizes vortices. I'll also explain what vortices are caused by the wing tips of the aircraft. So this is the best sound. Look at just check out what's happening this video as you also listen to the sound. What happens is the flaps are being extended, so the hydraulics gears, the hydraulics, pressures happening, and there's a lot of jack screws. So when they rotate, extending the flaps, the hydraulics working, it makes that beautiful sound. Yeah, so that's how the plane works. That's how aeroplanes fly, and I hope you've learned something about how the four forces affecting the planes and how they maneuver through the air. Yeah, so next time you board a plane and wonder how you're getting airborne, what those things under the wings are, this is just the engine. So I hope this video is educative, and yeah, let me know what you think about the video, and I'll share more videos on aviation and basically things with aviation, not in depth, but just for general knowledge. So let me know what you think about the video, and make sure you leave your comment, and also don't forget to subscribe.